Let's see what is happening in demo 16. There is a button prompting me to click. I am clicking it. It is asking me, what is your lucky number? A pop-up has come and it is asking me my lucky number. Okay, I guess 89. I click on OK. 89 is probably more than this program. So it is saying I'm luckier than this program. I can click again. I can try my luck again. Say 99. Oh, that exactly matches my luck with the program. So it is saying lucky devil. 99 and the program's luck 99 are comparing together for equality. Let us see how all this is happening in the code. Everything is in, all action is here. Here we will learn about generating random number in JavaScript. It's plain and simple. JavaScript has a library called math. Math library has a lot of functions, which are one I'm using is .random. Math.random function is giving me a random number, and I'm simply multiplying that number by 100. That was not required, but I am just simply doing that. Now, what is this parse int? Parse int is required when you have to convert any value into numeric form or number form. So that was actually not required here, but anyway, I have converted R into, because math.random will anyway give me the numeric value. So if you do not use it, you can convert it into a comment. Anyway, next thing which we are learning here is prompt function. Prompt function in JavaScript will display a pop-up. Here you can give the prompt as the first parameter. Second is a default value. Default value I have kept 0. 0 will appear in the prompt function on its own. If you see here, if I click on this, see 0 is here. That's the default value. If you do not give any value, it will be blank. And whatever value is being entered, that value is coming into a variable n. And this n I'm comparing with r. If n is less than r, some message is coming. If n is more than r, some message is displayed. If they are equal, a third message is displayed. So what you have to learn here is math.random function, which generates a random number, and prompt function to display a pop-up for input from the user. So far, we were taking the input into a input box. Here it is the prompt pop-up. Having a look at the next demo, 17. It's the same program. I give something and it is not giving my luck. In this program, I'm going to cheat this program. To cheat this program, I'm going to press letter C. On the keyboard, I have pressed letter C. Now the cheating has happened. After cheating on, I click on this button. And did you notice instead of 0, 67 is here. So I'm doing the cheating. 67 is my lucky number. If I click on OK, it is saying, yes, you are lucky. So cheating mode was on by pressing C. So the previous program is tweaked for some cheating by the user. Body mein, I have given on key press. On key press. So whenever I'm pressing C on the web page, cheat function will execute. Cheat function is doing nothing. Cheat function in a variable ch, which is global, is storing a value. What is the value? Whatever key I have pressed, its value. I have pressed C, so a small c will go there in ch. How that value is coming? JavaScript has an object called event object. Now you can make note of it. Event object gives you a lot of information. Which mouse button is clicked, which keyboard key is pressed. All these information can come through event object. In event object, I'm using a property key. This always holds the key letter which I have pressed. And that C, letter C I had pressed, I'm checking here. Random number is generated. Now I'm checking if the variable ch has the value C in small or capital. What I'm doing, I'm assigning whatever random number is generated, I'm assigning that random number to variable C also. Variable C is here. So what I'm doing, if cheating mode is on, whatever random number is there, store it in a variable and then display it as the default value of prompt. So that number is visible to the user now. That is how the cheating is happening. And then CH is made null. Null keyword is making the CH blank. Rest of the things are as usual. So what you've learned here is not the logic. This logic will, you can develop that logic. What is happening here is event object is being used for a property called key, which is giving me the value of the key which is pressed by the user. Event.key is the learning from this code. Moving next. So I clicked on the button, it is saying click OK to begin. A box has come which is giving me choices OK and cancel. I click on OK, then rest of the program is happening. So I can cancel it, I can OK it. How this OK cancel message box is coming up? It is coming up because of confirm function in JavaScript. We have seen prompt, we have seen alert, we know the difference between the two. Now confirm message is another way of displaying the message which displays OK and cancel buttons. When you click on OK, it will be treated as true and rest of the program will run. If you click on cancel, it will return false, and whatever is the next program, it may run, may not run, depending on the logic of the program. So what I'm using is, I'm using a loop also, while loop in JavaScript, just like in Java language and other languages. While loop is there, it has its own block marked by braces. Whatever is happening is happening inside while, as long as user is clicking on OK. Confirm box will display OK cancel buttons, and as long as OK is being clicked, this program will keep asking the user the next number and will keep displaying the message accordingly. Random number is generated only once. Whatever text is to be displayed is assigned here, and then confirm function is passed with that text. Loop will run as long as user is clicking on OK. So the learning here is the confirm function and the while loop. Here while loop will run as long as the value is true, the condition is true. The cousin brother of while loop is do while. In while loop, if the condition is false the very first time, the while loop will not run at all. That means there is a possibility that while loop may not run at all. But do while loop runs at least once, no matter what is the condition. The reason is, do while loop executes the code first and checks the condition later. As you see here, do while is denoted by do keyword, while keyword, in between is the code block, and condition is being checked very last. So whatever is there, that will be done first, then condition will be checked. So if the condition is false, second time it will not execute. But if the condition is false the very first time, still it will execute because execution is happening first. Hence, do while loop is useful if you want to run some code which should run at least once in the beginning. For example, displaying a menu to the user, that should always come irrespective of the condition. So you can use do while in that case. Rest of the program is doing the same thing. So I'm not going into that detail. Here the learning is do while. Next program is demo 20. Let us first run this, then we will intercept it. So it is asking me to enter the number of attempts. I don't know what attempts for what. I say okay 2. And I press enter. Now watch carefully. After entering value 2 in this text box, I am pressing enter key. and it is going to ask me my lucky number 45. I click on, now this is confirm box. I click on OK. Again, it will run 56. 2 times it has run. And now, so these attempts are actually number of times I want to try my luck. 2 times. How it is happening? The attempts are entered in an input element by the ID attempts. Now remember, when I was typing the value, I pressed enter. The key code, capital C, the key code for enter key is 13. So you can check the key by the code also. Alphabet keys can be checked by their value. But what about enter key? Enter key has to be checked by its code. Escape key is 27. Enter key is 13. In the reference books, you will find this list. So if enter key is happening like this only, I'm not typing anything and enter key is being pressed, I'm just returning. Return means come out of the function, come back from the function, doing nothing. If the value of attempts is 0, that means I don't want to attempt at all. What it is doing? The color of the text box is being white. Attempts is the text box. The background color of the text color of the text box will be white. The background color of the text box will be red, giving a visual feedback to the user that you have entered 0, which is not acceptable. Let me show you. I type 0 here. I'm typing 0 here and pressing enter. And it has turned red, the text white, giving me a visual feedback that 0 is an invalid value. White, red, if value is 0. Then random number is generated. Now here another learning is happening is for loop. For loop is another third kind of loop, which is a compact loop as compared to while, because in for loop, all the checking of all the initialization of the variable, all the checking of the conditions, and all the increment of the variable is done in the header of the for loop. This is the header of the for loop. It has 3 logical parts separated by semicolon. The flow is like this. The first part will execute very first, initializing this variable C to 0. Then it will not enter the body of the loop. It will move on to the next second part, the condition part. It will check the condition. If the condition is allowing, if the condition is true, then only it will come inside the body of the loop. The entire body of the loop will execute all the statements one by one. And when all the statements are executed, the program control will go to the third part. That is the variable manipulation part, increment or decrement or whatever. This will execute, and then it will come back to the second part, that is the condition part. If condition is allowing, again the body, manipulation, condition, body, manipulation, and this will keep going on as long as the condition is true. This is the for loop. The rest of the program is doing the same thing. A variable C is set to 0. It is a counter set to 0. This variable C is checking whether it is less than the attempts entered by the user. Attempts.value, the text box value. Parse int is a function in JavaScript to convert values into numeric form. User is entering a value which is in a text box. Whatever you enter in the text box is inherently is text type. It has to be converted into a numeric form for mathematical operations. Parse int is doing that. Parse int is converting the value into numeric form so that it is compared with numeric variable C. As many attempts are being counted, and the loop is running as many times as the user has entered the number of attempts. So here I'm not going to teach you the logic of the program. Look at the JavaScript part. If event.keycode is not equal to 13, that means if user has not entered 13, this function will not do anything. If user has entered 13, then this entire thing will happen. Moving further. Now watch carefully. Here we are going to learn two things. How the pass values into, how the pass arguments into the functions. When you're calling the function, you can pass the argument in the parenthesis like this. Numeric value without any quotes. If you're putting the quotes, it is a text type of value. So Delhi is string 100, Mumbai is 200, Kolkata is 300, the number. Try me is a string, this is fun. So let us see what is happening. Let me click on Delhi. It is giving me 100, 100 two times. The value passed to the variable, to the function was 100 in single quotes. Let me click on Mumbai, see the output. 400. The value passed in function was 200, the number. Double is coming. With Kolkata, 300 was passed. Double is coming. 600. Try me. Try me is displaying exclamation sign. Where this exclamation sign is coming, let us intercept the program now. I clicked on Delhi. String 100 was passed. It's not value 100, it is string 100. So do change. 100 is passed here in this parameter n. JavaScript has a function is nan, not a number. Is not a number. If the entered value is not a number, then do something. Let us see what is happening. If the entered value is not a number, see the not operator here. If the entered value is not a number, that means it is a number. Then we are checking another if is integer. Now is not a number and we are converting into not. It means is a number. And here we are checking a function called is integer. Now we have to understand the difference between number and integer. See how it is working. Is integer function is the part of number library in JavaScript. Hence the dot is here. Number dot is integer. Whatever you have to check is passed, here it is. So let us see what is happening. In Delhi, 100 was coming. Why 100 was coming? Because this 100 is an integer, but since it is passed as a with single quotes, it is treated as a string. So n plus n will concatenate it. That's why 100 was coming. So concatenation is happening. When we are checking for 200 and 300, the addition was happening. 200 ka 400, 300 ka 600. When a pure string is passed, this is fun, exclamation sign. Did you see here? Exclamation sign is there in this string. In that case, this part is executing. For any string, the string is this is fun, exclamation sign. This is fun, exclamation sign is coming in n. N is a string now. For strings, there is a property in JavaScript that is called length property. Length property will always give you the number of characters in the string. All the elements in the string, they have an index which is 0 based. First letter is always on 0, second is on 1 and onwards. So whatever is the length of the string, that will give me the total number of letters in that string. -1 means last letter. And last letter here is exclamation sign. So this arithmetic, n ka length -1 is giving me the position, the index of the last letter, a numeric value. And that index is passed into the offset of n square brackets. N square brackets, whatever number you give here is treated as the index in the string. And on that index, whatever letter is there, that is returned. That's why exclamation sign was being displayed, because entire length of string n minus 1 is always giving me the index of the last letter in the string.